Happy birthday. Happy 30th birthday. Welcome to this peaceful garden. Well, where to begin? Number one, I met you on May of 2022. And the thing that I realized was, here is a chaos pixie dream girl of my dreams. And from then on, it was kind of a story to remember. 2, it was a dark and stormy night. We were at Cooper's house. You were telling me the story of everything about you. I loved it. 3, from that moment on, we started hanging out more and more. I braided your hair one night, and I French braided your hair into a lot of different braids, and you loved it, and you had 2 little wispy bangs coming up at the top. 4, then we had a couple fun parties, which were literally a freaking blast. I literally cannot believe that those things happened, because it was my first realization that a party doesn't have to have little pieces of broccoli and carrots and ranch all perfectly laid out and the house completely vacuumed and everyone comes over and talks for a while and then leaves. You can also play sardines. You can have a pocket party. You can have a dress party where all the dudes wear dresses and walk across the table with their little dresses in a little fashion show. 5, I moved to Australia and you Marco Polo'd me more than anyone else. Even in my darkest hour, I was watching Marco Polo's of you explain some stuff about your life, and I was just really happy to get to stay connected. And it was some of the brightest parts of Australia. Relatively. Because it's a sunny country. 6, well, then I moved home and we started hanging out a lot more because you lived in Golden and you let me stay with you, and Golden was my favorite place. So I came and I lived with you, and I had a really good time while I was living at my grandma's, living with you. But my grandma wasn't there. My grandma was in another place. But she wasn't dead yet, and she still isn't dead yet. 7, then we decided, what if we lived together? I was literally shocked by the fact that you offered this information. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's no way. You've got to be like joking me. But ultimately we talked through it and it sounded like it would work. And I came and lived here in Golden with you at Eagle's Nest. 8, well, that started off a lot of really cool adventures. And we even got to drive to Moab together, where we took a road trip and got to sing songs and talk about really deep stuff. And I just really wanted to make out with you the whole time. 9, I'm going to talk more about this Moab trip because also we got to face both of our fears. My fears of asking someone to make out with me, and your fears of having to rely on a man to get through a slot canyon in order for us to get out of a Moab trip. Fish scale rock formation. Otherwise we would have died, and we had to just be okay with the fact that a man was struggling and that was preventing us from getting out of that slot canyon. 9, from then on, our lives became pretty routine. You'd have the kids over, I'd go to work at Powder 7. I got to meet a lot of the kids, and including like your graduation party. It was actually really cool. I got to realize that the thing about parenting is it's actually kind of a blast. You get to live life through your kids' eyes, and you get to have whatever kind of fun they're having. You can be guidant, you can allow them to make mistakes, and there can be compromises and there can be consequences, but you can still have a lot of fun. 9, also, while I was working at Powder 7, sometimes we would just go to the park and be in the sun and just be there all day, and it reminded me of when I met you as a chaos pixie dream girl at the park. 10, also during this time, we talked about shaving your hair, and we never shaved your hair. We talked about bleaching my hair, and we never bleached my hair. 11, winter came. It wasn't that fun because you hate winter, you love the sun, and there were parts of it that were kind of a bummer. But for the most part, it was actually a blast because we started having more parties, we started having more friends, we had Halloween parties, and we had a cookie and soup party, which brings me to 11, cookie and soup party number 1. This was after the talent show and tell party, which is actually number 12. And this was like a really great time for me to get to explore my own tradition forming, which is something really important to me. But you allowed me the space and time to just have this party, and it was really amazing. But at the talent show and tell party, this was also another time where we just combined talent shows and show and tell. And everybody came to our house and we had a great party. And I loved that. 13. Well, around this time, I was having a lot of conflicts with boys. And then we realized that maybe we could just date each other. So we kind of messed around with that, and it was really fun, honestly. We had some of the best conversations I've ever had. And because it felt like something that I'd been wanting to explore that was really daunting and scary, it was actually like kind of a blast if it's with somebody that you're like having fun with. And even if you're really scared, it can be really fun. We got to explore some really cool things. Then 15 or 14, I got to meet some more of your friends, including Maria and Matt and Josh and Riley and Michelle and Rachel and Harry. And I got to see Harry through your eyes, which was really cool because I started to develop a 15-16 relationship with Harry about on our own, which was really cool because we had a lot in common. We realized, even though at first it felt like we didn't, we actually did, which was really cool because I started to feel like I was developing my own kind of love for Harry through your eyes and through my own eyes, which was sick. 16. Things started to get kind of spooky with me, but along with some help with Ricky, you were enabling me to do some parts work, which was literally the sickest thing ever. And we would talk about parts work all the time. And I could see that you were growing and changing with that, and I was growing and changing with that, and it was really sick because I knew you were working on that stuff with Harry too. 17. Things got a little bit spooky and kind of needed to take some space, and our conversations never felt really bad about that time. It felt like I was able to go hang out in my house in Denver, and I was able to just be okay with that, and it was kind of sick. You were just allowed me that space, but I still felt the love, I still felt the friendship, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but it definitely felt like okay. And when I was able to return, 19, 18, 17, then I felt really welcomed by you, and it felt like everything was okay, and things just were kind of great again. So in the summer, things got awesome again. We had so much fun, 18, so much times and fun and blasts in the park, and just being in the sunshine and just being together, and the girlies still coming to the house, and just getting to grow and change with them, and going to my class and us talking about school together and committing to school together, which is 18 and 19, and also 20, Cedar, watching you handle and be part of Cedar's life and just support him through all the growing and changes was something I meant to mention earlier, but was really cool to see because it just was a beautiful part of life, and I hope he's doing well and his family too. 21. Okay, so then we had a great time. School started. Everything got blasted in our face. During this time, we also started Survivor, which was literally freaking crazy. You were really hyped about it. You wanted to work together. I had no idea how it worked. I was trying to be careful, but you had this really passionate way of playing, and I really loved that, and I had a blast for a while. Honestly, it was some of the funnest times because it was wow, we've been having all these crazy, wild, fun parties. 21, sardine parties, which is why are we playing hide and seek at our house? Back to 20. It's I don't know. It was just wow. Sardine parties, Survivor, getting to see Harry's creative mind and your guys' excitement for that game, and just have a fun time with it and be interacting with our friends and just having a great time. 22. Things got really fucking hard and weird and bad. We weren't really sure how to interact with each other at times, I think, because Survivor was really hard. It was also really scary because we were seeing each other in periods of intense fear and sadness, or frustration or competition or adrenaline, and we just kept plugging forward, which was amazing because it was honestly way more part of the growing process of that whole game, but it was still really painful and really hard. And honestly, I wouldn't exchange it for anything, but there's so many times where I wish I could go back and give both of us a hug. 22. Okay, Survivor started to conclude, and things were definitely a little weird and rocky. Weird and wacky. You were going ham at school, which has been some of the coolest things to see, because I knew that in the beginning you had some insecurities about going back to school, and it's honestly been like really nice to do school alongside each other. Just kind of know that we're both going through it, just both like plugging along, and both have the goals and aspirations that we do, but also like the struggles of being part of the system and the money and the man. Fuck the man. Around that time, it was also getting colder again, which was always a mood harsher when the summer starts to end, and it just was like a bit of a contraction period. But our conversations started to evolve pretty quickly after Survivor ended, and I could tell that we were already going to grow from everything that had happened, and that our friendship wasn't damaged or in the trash or anything, which maybe was something that I was a little bit scared of at some point. I don't really know. I just really love you, and I didn't want our friendship to go anywhere. 23. With these conversations, I feel like came a lot of growth, and it felt like we were able to like take turns supporting each other with some hard stuff, including family stuff for your family stuff for my family, and then just like both of us getting sick back and forth and just like being there for each other through that. It just has felt like really good. 24. Big thing. Both of us living together, which has been awesome, and the conversations we've been able to have been like freaking great and really supportive in my growth in being able to have friends and roommates and partners and significant others and families and blah blah blah. But also having Moshi and Esther's presence in our life, which has been such a blessing for me, getting to live with you and in the mountains of Golden and near school and near all my friends, but also the trials and tribulations of living according to someone else's standards and someone else's schedule and regime and all that, and just like understanding that that's like something that is okay, but also is like can be hard, and just supporting each other through that and loving people for being different and imperfect from us, and understanding ourselves in that presence, but also having the blessing of being able to live together. And yeah, huge blessing for me. 25. I'll take a moment here to take a breath because I'm remembering the time that you and I sat on our driveway and you meditated with me when my shortness of breath was getting really bad. And I think that just reflects a big thing about you helping me remember to slow down in life and just like really freaking play and smile and just enjoy the sunshine, and also being able to sit through some sticky situations with our friends. Which brings me to 26. Okay, in the last couple of months, you've definitely gotten sick a lot, which I've been reflecting on, and I'm like, wow, this is definitely a crazy time. But you're starting to kind of branch out your friendships and become closer with like TJ and Olivia, and exploring things with Steph, and just getting to have conversations around that. It's helped me grow so much, and I love you a lot for it. And I know that some of it has been really hard, and some of it has been really surprising. And just being able to like have established a friendship and a relationship up to this point that we're able to just like be together through it and relate with each other and trust each other, which is my 27, is like seriously trusting each other. I feel like I have not trusted a girlfriend or a friend in a really long time like this, and I really love you, and I just feel like that trust of like, wow, you've seen me at some of my lowest and I've seen you at some of your lowest, and like getting to hold you when you were crying the other night before we went into Matt's house was like just really dear, because it was like you don't always cry a lot, but when you do, like it feels really good to be able to be there for you. Not that I want that to happen all the time, but it is nice because it's like I don't see you like this a lot, and I know you're trying to be strong all the time for yourself and others, and maybe you're not trying that hard, but sometimes I think of you as just like this matronly pillar holding up a lot of people in community, even if they recognize it or not. But yeah, trust that I can trust you to be able to trust me, and you can trust me to be able to trust you. 28. I think just getting to reflect on like the imperfections and like beautifulness of each other, and something cheesy like that, but I think getting to express that in art has been really beautiful. Getting to like have watercolor paint nights where we just get to like kind of chat around and experience like different kinds of interaction than what we're used to with other friends, and just getting like a beautiful chance to do that. I've loved your expression of art, and I've developed a new appreciation for rocks and sun and desert, and it makes me want to explore it more with you. Which brings me to 29, exploring more things that I'm more uncomfortable with, including dating women, rock climbing, dating people, dating Matt, facing family stuff. Yeah, I just feel like that's been something I've gotten to do with you, and this has been a really big list of all the things I love and I'm grateful for you. And so number 30 is going to be a really big I love you a lot, and I have warm feelings for you, and I'm so glad that we've gotten to explore what we've gotten to explore, done what we've gotten to do. I can't wait to see where else our relationship gets to go, and I'm really excited and happy for your 30th year and to get to celebrate you and all the 30 reasons why I love you and things I love about what we've had shared before together and continue to share, and it's a great year. Happy birthday.